Hello tubers, and thank you for watching. Today's topic is this Craftsman 16-inch 36cc chainsaw, which happens to be mine. I was cutting some tree limbs the other day and the trigger went out on me. Pull on the trigger, nothing happens. I'm hoping that it's just the mechanism got loose on the inside, located under this hood. Today I'm working on my carburetor bench. As the workbench I generally use has other projects on it, and this simply is an old desk that I converted, that I have all my screwdrivers, my specialty screwdrivers to do the adjustments. Without these, life is a little difficult working on these carburetors. But back to the topic on hand. To get to this trigger, you have to loosen the 3 screws that are located down in these holes. They're Torx screws, and in this particular case they're T25s. That's T25 if you have the same chainsaw. If I loosen these screws for the sake of time, and to get this top off, you have to push the brake forward, loosen the screws, and then she'll slide right out. A little wiggling and jiggling here. Let me get it out. A little difficult with one hand. So let me put this camera down and pull it out. There we go. Okay, back with you here with the cover off. It took 2 hands to get that cover off, loosening it up. And while we're in here, we'll look at a few other problems that we have, or may have. You can see this air filter is extremely dirty. I don't have a replacement, so this will just be cleaned and put back in for today. And while it's apart, here's your plug. I'm going to be taking that plug out. I believe it only has about 10 hours on it. I put it in last year. But while this is apart, I'll give it a check just to see how it looks. Now, for the matter at hand, when we pull this trigger, you can see there's nothing connected to that right there. There's that opening. And looking down in here, you can see on the carburetor, we have this rod. It looks like this rod belongs right onto that trigger there. Let me adjust this a little bit better for you. This looks like it might be one of the easiest fixes yet, but we don't know until we actually take it to see if anything's missing. I don't know why after all this time that would come off. I had this chainsaw for several years, never had this issue before. Well, I'm going to get in there and play around with it and be back in a few minutes to see how we made out. Well, tubers, while you were gone, I found what the problem was. To get to it, we had to take this air filter holder off, and to get that off, there were these 2 screws, one here, one on this side, and they were 8mm, and then there was this Torx screw up here, which is still the T25. Everything's the same size, makes it convenient. When I pulled this off, I found that this was disconnected here, which we knew ahead of time, and I had to put a slight bend into this. It looks like it bent out of shape after all these years. Also, what really caused the problem was this screw right here at the tip of the screwdriver was loose. This has a square notch in it to hold it to the stud that sticks out. And when it loosened up, I guess that's what caused everything to happen. Now when we pull the trigger, we can see the throttle's working. Everything's working as it should be. So it was a simple fix, just took a little playing around with it. And again, this bent out of shape somewhat. Had to put a slight bend into it right over here. And it shouldn't be coming out, but the main problem was this screw. So if this should happen to you and it falls apart, go right to this and see if that screw's loose. I don't have any Loctite right now, but next time I come in to clean this carb out, I will be putting some Loctite onto that end. I'm going to assemble this, fire her up, and that'll be a wrap. Thank you for watching. If you find this helpful, please post, and see you next time around. Have a great day. Now, I did pull the spark plug out, and it was a little, it is burning rich, but I don't know if it's burning rich because of a carburetor adjustment that needs to be done, or this filter being so dirty. Dirty filter will cause it to burn rich. And if you do have to make your carburetor adjustments, that'll be another video. But the two screws for the adjustments are in here. And on the Craftsman, this particular one, you need the spline. You need the spline screwdriver to make the adjustments. I've seen videos on YouTube where they simply took those, if you don't have the spline, where they simply took those screws out, put a notch in it and put them back in and adjust it with a regular screwdriver. But that's for another day. For now, we're putting this back together. This filter will go back in. I blew it out from the back side best I can get it. This is still a little too dirty, but as I mentioned before, that's all I have to use at this point. Don't forget to put your cover back on. And the engine cover. Okay. Torque 25 screws. Tighten them down. This turned out to be an easy fix. So if you have to, the first thing you look at when you get in there is that screw that was off to the side. And don't forget to take your brake off. Release your brake. Now, she's ready to go. Thank you, tubers, and as I mentioned before, if you found this helpful, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you.